The second anniversary for Zenless Zone Zero is almost here, and we got a lot of stuff. Okay, now I already talked about all of the things that we're getting in the game coming up. You can see that video here. And then I already talked about which agents you should pull. Should you pull blank, blank, and blank? You can see that video here. But with the anniversary, Zenless decided to do something that I don't think anyone expected. Last year, we got a standard selector with the standard W engine of your choice. This year, we got the same thing, but instead of a standard selector, we now have limited agents. So in today's video, I'm going to be helping you. I don't want to say telling you because I'm not going to tell you anything, but I'm going to help you decide what agent is best for your account and why. Because a lot of people seem to have this weird, everyone's telling you to get Lucia, and I promise you Lucia is not the answer. So let's talk about it. All right, so the agents that we have of choice is Jane, Lucia, Soldier Zero, Anby, Trigger, and Hugo. Now, from face value, especially as someone who's a little bit more, I guess, like if you want to call yourself a veteran or you just have more knowledge about the game, some of these are clearly like you can pick them and some you can't. I already wrote about this. I wrote an article on Twitter. You guys should follow me on Twitter because I do articles. You should also join my Discord because like I'm also doing account reviews, but that's a whole different thing that we'll talk about somewhere during the rest of the video. Anyway, back to this thing. You can tell it's off cuff because I didn't script it and like we're just here now. All right, who should you pick? I'm gonna go in order, I think, but this is a little different. There's a couple different things that we have to talk about when it comes to some of these characters, but I won't go over too many things because I don't have official confirmation for that, and I don't want to tell you guys any lies, right? So I'm gonna start with Jane. Jane is probably the one that has the most potential on this list, but that's only if you're going for Remielle, and you already have Valina, or vice versa, I guess. So if you got Valina, you're not going for Remielle, but you want Yuzuha, like you're gonna pick up Yuzuha, and you want to get the Jane, you could do that. If you have Jane, you want to go for Remielle, don't have Valina, but you also are going to pick up Yuzuha with the rerun banner that she's getting, you could also grab Jane and you would see some benefit. The problem with this is, do you already own Alice? That's number one, right? If you already own Alice, there's zero reason for you to pick up an M0 Jane. Number two, Piper. Piper is still being compared to M0 Jane. Even though I think Jane is better, the difference isn't so drastic that I would say it's worth picking it if you don't have the other four characters, right? And so that presents a problem. The third thing, which this is the grapevine part, the rumor part, the thing that I haven't confirmed yet, Jane is getting potential unlocked and we don't know what it is, right? Now I've heard some really bad things about this potential unlock and I've seen some really amazing things with this potential unlock. So I don't know which one is true, okay? Which is why I don't want to tell you anything and I can't advise anything right now until I get to play her for myself. And right now we just haven't gotten the server for me to test out Jane yet, so I can't do that. But if the rumors are more on the positive side, Jane becomes one of the stronger characters. She rises up in the meta, and her team with Remielle and Yuzu, Remielle and Valina and Yuzu is going to jump up drastically. If the rumors are leaning towards the negative things that I've heard, Jane is going to stay exactly where she is right now. So what really turns, I guess, like what happens, right? Who pulls Jane? If you already own Jane or you already own M1 Jane specifically, you can pick up M2 Jane for free. Now keep in mind, right, because this is the position that I'm in, which is why originally I was gonna grab Jane, now I'm not. I have enough of the ticket things, you know what I'm talking about. They're in the shop, right? The character selector shop thingy. Jane is in that shop. If you plan on pulling this patch, if you've pulled already, if you're a spender, anything of the sort, there might be opportunity for you to just get enough of the tickets or get one more ticket, right? And then just click Jane from the agent shop and you don't have to use your free thing for Jane. So that is definitely something to keep in mind, right? You can always pick Jane up from there. And you can get her W engine if you really want it, but unless they change how the W engine works or how she works in relation to the W engine, it's really not going to help her case at all, and I don't think it's worth it, right? You get more positive results with what Alice's engine, but I mean, that's obviously you'd have to have that. Anyway, that's my opinion on Jane, okay? So if you already have that stuff or you don't have that stuff, go for it. Next up is Lucia, everything, or the one that everyone is saying pull for. Here's the thing with Lucia, and I'm going to show you guys this right now, right? Lucia is the rupture agent, yes? So she buffs everything for rupture. The way that so many people are talking about Lucia right now is she is this godforsaken, or not godforsaken, like from the heavens support. Everyone is like, I saw a tweet that said she's the chief Chisa of whatever, and they tried to compare it to like the negative statuses in Wuthering. I don't think they're entirely wrong, but I think they're completely overselling Lucia. Chisa has way more options than what I would consider Lucia having, right? Like, or you can play Chisa in non-negative status teams and then still get benefited from whatever Chisa is doing for the team. You can't do that for Lucia. The only character in the game that can do that is Ye Shun Wang. It's bad, don't do it, but you do at least get an Ether Veil activation. These two characters are not on the same level. Like, yes, people were sleeping on Chisa. She is the quote unquote Miss Potential or whatever it is, right? Potential woman. That's not Lucia. Lucia has immediate value. We know what her value is, and she's very good at what she does, right? Like Wolverine, I'm the best at what I do, okay? Lucia currently is the best at what she does. What does she do? She buffs up Rupture agents. So right now, we only have 5 Rupture agents. You realistically, as a free-to-play player or a casual player, whatever it is, you probably only have 2, right? You might have Ishwin and Minato. If you have Ishwin, you're not using your Minato unless you already had Minato first. You built them and then you pulled Ishwin, right? But again, you're still not using Minato. You're only using one of these characters realistically, unless you're a Rupture main, right? Or you have Ishwin and Yudhari, but you don't have a Miyabi, or you don't have Promea. That makes a little bit more sense. Even still, Lucia only goes on one of these teams. So Lucia benefits Yudhari, benefits Ishwin, benefits Bonway, benefits Starlight Billy, and also benefits Minato. Doesn't benefit him or that team enough for you to make the decision, yes, I should get Lucia over anything else that could potentially influence my account or make my account stronger. The answer I can't tell you is no, but you definitely should consider why you're doing that. When you're looking at these characters in particular for who gets benefited or who doesn't when it comes to Lucia, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Rupture is phasing out, because I do believe that I was already shown it. I did say this at one point because I thought that's what they said, but apparently they didn't. In the dev talk, they said that they didn't want Rupture to get phased out and that they planned on making more Rupture. One of the things that I pointed out was that Hoyoverse has patterns that we can trace, and whenever they give away something for free, usually a support or a DPS or whatever, a sustain, they end up replacing it in a couple patches later. Or I won't say replace, they release the much better version of it later. So for all we know, Lucia is being given away as an option for free now, and then the better version of her that works with more characters than just Rupture comes out later, right? Like imagine combining Lucia and Astra and then they do that, or Lucia and Yuzuha and then they do that, right? Or Lucia and Suna, anything. That's probably what they're getting at with the next character coming out that's going to influence Ether Veil or influence Rupture agents as a whole, or as a support character, okay? So that's something to definitely consider. I'm not telling you don't pull Lucia, even if they did do that, because she's still free, but it is an option for you to consider. Going back to this over here though, I 100% think you should grab her engine. Maybe not so much for all the other characters in the game, because like I don't know if this is going to work for other characters who don't have anybody else like a support for Rupture, but if you already own Lucia and you don't have her engine like me, then this is 100% the engine you go for. Like none of these other engines compare to Lucia because of how drastic it helps the character, it helps your team, and it makes it so that you can max out her 24,000 HP requirement without using the B rank engine. The B rank engine can do it, but then you also still need like a lot of HP subs is what you need to do that, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's move away from Lucia for just a bit. I'll talk about her more towards the end of this video. Soldier Zero Anby, Sanby. Sanby is what I would consider the second least character that you should even be thinking about when it comes to this free agent selection. Even if you already own Sanby and you wanted more of a mindscape, a vertical investment, I'd probably still tell you don't do it. It's just not worth it. Let's take a look at Sanby real quick, okay? So Sanby, one of my favorite characters to both play and just she's cool as okay. I like Sanby a lot. Sanby has a problem. This reminds me of that TikTok guy, but he had a problem. Anyway, Sanby has a problem. Sanby desperately wants her team. Funnily enough, Trigger can't get both. You can't get both from this, okay? You can't get Sanby her engine and Trigger and her engine. You got to make one. So if you don't have Trigger, there's really no reason for you to go for Sanby. If you have Sanby and you don't have Trigger, it makes a lot more sense now, right? If you don't have both, then it's like, oh, I should get Sanby but no Trigger. Don't do that. So it's really hard for you to make that decision, right? Are there other options? Yes, you do have other options. Let's go look at the stunners real quick and you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? Sanby likes stunners that mock trigger. That's off field. They can come on field to do a couple things, or like big damage or big stun, you know, opportunities, whatever, right? So she likes things that trigger allows, but trigger is still going to be trigger, the best one for Sanby. Things that are like trigger but aren't trigger. The new potential unlock Lycon is like trigger, but it's not trigger. Ching Yi can work, but she's nowhere like trigger. You will be on fielding Ching Yi. Most people don't want to do that, and they don't like the way the team feels. I don't like the way the team feels, so it is what it is. Jafufu can work, okay, but she is not like trigger. And you also run into the problem with fire and electric. Things that are weak to fire are usually resistant towards electric. Things that are weak to electric are usually resistant towards fire. So you will be running into that with Jafufu. Same thing with Norma. Same thing applies, right? Norma does offer a little bit more, but it is what it is. Nangong Yu, no. Dailin, no. It works, but you don't really want to do that. Polkra, yes, funnily enough. It's not really funny. Polkra is mini trigger, so you could get away with that. None of the other stunners work in that category. The next thing though, Orphe. Yes, you want Orphe. I understand that Kate might have told you guys that you don't need Orphe and that Astra is equivalent or better. I don't believe this. I just, well, I won't say I don't believe it. I don't agree. I think M1 Astra can get you on the same page, but I think as far as the fluidity of the team, the way that it plays, Astra is not equivalent to Orphe even in an M0 comparison, because Orphe does what Sanby wants out of a teammate. Sanby does exactly what Orphe wants out of a teammate. So they both rise up, and Trigger does what they all want, right? So the whole team rises up. The big problem with that is we don't have any other aftershock support. No one else does anything with aftershock. We don't have another aftershock DPS. Investing in an aftershock right now is just a bad play. Unless you already own the characters and you're just trying to, again, vertically invest, it's a bad play. Even with vertical investment, taking Sanby from M1 to M2, like I mentioned earlier, this is just quality of life, okay? So when you look at M1 for Sanby, all this does is give her a little bit of additional damage, right? You're not really like, all right, cool, whatever, bro. We don't really know what that is for her to get the value out of that, I guess. And I wouldn't be able to sit here, I'm not gonna lie to you either and tell you like this isn't like a 10% damage increase or 15%. I don't think it's that high, but you get what I'm saying. It could be a significant damage increase for White Thunder. Wouldn't be able to tell you that off the top of my head. Then we get over to M2. M2 looks nice because of the natural crit rate increase. It's also going to give those thunder stacks. It's going to increase the cap of your thunder stack. It's a really good quality of life M2. This isn't helping you more than if you were to just pick up triggers M1, right? Even going with Sanby M2 doesn't help you more than grabbing triggers M1, because now what you get, the stun damage multiplier applied through whatever is increased by another 20%, right? Boom, that's an increase on that. She also increases or reduces the cooldown that she has for doing her sniper stuff, and she increases the sniper whatever by 25%, like the damage or whatever by 25%. So you're fine. This is better for you. And if I'm not mistaken, is that also applied to her defense shred? I think something happens with her defense shred. Don't let me lie to you on that, but it's something that Mo tells me about how it amplifies her M1, makes her defense shred better, something like that. But again, don't let me lie to you on that, okay? I'm doing all this off my head so that I can get this out to you the fastest, so I can go back to playing Marvel Rivals. Yo guys, I gotta get my Jubilee action on, all right? Don't hate me. That being said, way too much investment, okay? Sanby, too much investment. You need a lot to make Sanby work. You need 2/3 out of her entire team, or what she wants, in order to get her online, right? Like to keep up with whatever's currently in the meta, you need her to be 2/3 of that, which is a lot of asking, okay? If you already don't have it, it's hard. Then we move over to Trigger. Some people are telling you Trigger is not worth it. She's a brick, she's trash, whatever. I don't know what revisionist history we're doing with Trigger, but like, I'm not a part of it. I don't agree, okay? Trigger is still, out of all the stunners we have in the game, bro, come on, let's look at this together, right? Out of all the stunners we have in the game, what are we doing? Oh, Dailin's the best one. Okay, boom, Dailin's number one. Oh, Nangong Yu's the, okay, boom, Nangong Yu, right? Boom, boom. Tier 0 stunners. Great, what do we got after that? Norma, okay, awesome, Norma, boom. Who's next? You're gonna sit here and tell me that fucking Lighter? Oh yeah, bro, Lighter and Coleta are definitely what you want over Trick. No, man. Y'all just got through talking about how Jafufu was doo-doo water butt cheeks in the garbage can. She's not, by the way, but that's what the community was telling you, right? Now we're saying Trigger's no, man, Trigger's good. Trigger's good. So like, Trigger is easily one of the best stunners that you could have an alternative stunner to. If you don't have Dailin, what are you using? You're using Trigger. If you're building your teams with Anomaly, right, and you don't have Nangong Yu, but you want a stunner, you need a stunner, what are you using? You're using Trigger. And you don't even need her W engine. because Anomaly doesn't care about it in the same fashion that attack agents, or not even rupture agents, attack agents do, right? Boom, you're gonna use trigger. If you don't have Jafufu, boom, you're using trigger. If you don't have whatever for rupture, you're using trigger, right? If you don't have Fufu or Norma or Dylan for rupture, you're using trigger, and it makes it easier because what? Because you don't need her W engine. Doesn't matter about the defense shred because rupture takes away all the defense. Exactly. Yay, we just had class. Okay, now you could compare trigger to Lycon because Lycon is free now, or was free, and with him being a standard S rank, you can get more of him. His W engine is better for him now because of the potential unlock, and he works almost identical to trigger, being able to go on and off field to help you stun faster, more consistently, off field, on field. Like he gives you both options, right? Just like how trigger gives you both options to a degree. So you could compare it to that, and so now we can say, well, I have an M2 Lycon, I have an M4 Lycon, I have an M6 Lycon due to just, you know, losing all my 50/50s to Lycon. Do I need trigger? The answer is probably no, because Lycon is going to serve you just fine. You could opt for trigger just to give another team, you know, a stunner when you don't have Lycon for them, right? You could do that, or you could pick something else that your account needs. You guys kind of see why I said making decisions for you with this information is not possible. There is not one singular, this character is clearly the best thing to pull. Stop. No, you can't do that. And I'm so tired of hearing that. Well, I guess I won't say hearing because I haven't watched any videos. Reading. It's been all over Twitter. People are all asking on Reddit. People in the Discords asking, and you have all these people saying the obvious choice is this. Just pick this, bro. There's no other choice to pick except this one thing. No, you value whatever that one thing is, but another player might not. And that's kind of what I'm getting at with explaining. The last thing that we have here is Hugo. Does Hugo deserve your pull? I think Hugo was the one that we could probably say is the easiest skip. The only reason you should be going for Hugo as your free character is if you already have M1 and you need an M2. That's it. And at that point, you would have already invested in a Hugo to begin with. So it's like, it's kind of like free game. You know what I mean? But Hugo, don't pick him up at M0. He's not worth it. Similar to Sanby, you also need 2/3 of his team. Now, he does have a slightly easier advantage than running whatever Sanby's running, right? Because now we have Norma, who's still in the banner right now. You could pull her if you need her. Lighter is an option if you don't have Norma. You could run Jafufu if you don't have either of those fire options. You can run Lycon, and you can run Coleta. Despite how people keep trying to disrespect Coleta, Coleta does exactly what she's supposed to do. Hey, I want to stun the enemy really fast because they're aggressive. I'm going to be aggressive back. Boom, insta stun. Coleta does her fucking job. I just play the character, learn the character. You could also play Ching Yi if you really wanted to do that. You don't get the same benefit that the Lighter and Lycon give you, but it is what it is. You could play fucking Anby. It doesn't matter, right? Your goal is to just have 2 stunners. Dylan, for obvious reasons, you know, why not? Duh. And you kind of go from there. So that could help you. But now we run into the issue that Hugo is going to run into for like all of the meta. Can Hugo still play currently in the meta? Yes. Is Hugo playing comfortably in the meta? No. And it's not because Hugo's weak. It's because of his mechanic being locked, like totalized. It's locked behind the stun, and the developers keep increasing the HP. And I don't even think it's just HP. It's a combination of things. If it was just HP, cool, whatever. Because of how fast Hugo stuns, you could legitimately just chunk. The same time it would take me to kill something or beat something up with a regular team, because of how fast a Hugo team stun, especially when you hyper optimize it, chunk. It's like the equivalent. It wouldn't matter. So HP isn't really the problem here. The problem is the combination of everything. You have HP inflation. You have any type of resistances. You have them decreasing enemies with like lower defense or higher defense. You have them messing around with the stun values of certain enemies. The things like Minato, right? Where certain bosses have a faster or slower stun value, right? So it's like, oh, okay, cool. You stun me. I'm going to burn through my stun insanely fast. Like you have 4 seconds or less to get off your whole stun combo. That affects Hugo. That affects a lot of different agents, but primarily it affects Hugo right now, right? And then also being able to optimize his build. Hugo still doesn't have a 4-piece that he really wants. Hormone Punk works, but when I'm stunning faster than and they're just very niche situations that you're stunning before your 10-second cooldown is done, right? Because Hormone Punk, you do the buff, you get the buff, boom, and then you have like a 10-second cooldown after that, right? Very niche situations where you're gonna stun faster than your cooldown is gone, but it does happen. For me personally, I would say it happens at least once a run for whatever it is that I'm doing with Hugo. That being said, it creates that problem where all of the things that are being combined that have made changes to the enemies in the game, the bosses in the game have affected Hugo. Shiyu defense with the, oh yes, it's so dumb. The Shiyu defense and the mobs. Okay, Hugo is really good in Shiyu defense, but the mobs are so ass. You have mobs that want to run 50 feet away from each other on purpose. You have the new robos that combine. So even if you did stun it and then Hugo goes for the EX skill, if you don't kill him with the totalize before this happens, the other robot just jumps on top, completely takes away your stun that you just worked for, and then totalize gets wasted. GG's go again. Now you got to work on the stun again. And because Hugo does absolutely piss ball damage outside of stun, he can't do anything versus a lot of these newer enemies. What does that mean? Take Crocodile from Thrall. You can't do damage because they're not stunned. He has no way to do damage. They would have to change how Hugo operates or give another stunner like Norma that does damage, right? And that's why I think that's why characters like Norma and Dylan are really good for, especially for Hugo, because they're helping you as a sub DPS. Like, we're not going to harp on Hugo too long, but Hugo's a very interesting character to me because he doesn't just want stunners. Hugo wants the equivalent of what Anomaly is receiving right now. Anomaly agents are receiving Nangong Yu, Yuzuha, Valina, and Remielle. They have the complete package. Hey bro, you want to run triple Anomaly? Go for it. We will also, not only are we going to help you run triple Anomaly, we're also going to help you stun the enemy at the same speed that a standard comp would stun the enemies in as well. Just follow this pattern here, learn these rotations, learn this optimization, and we're going to help you do the same thing, right? That in itself is problematic for Hugo to not have. If Hugo had a stun agent like Dylan, like Lycon, like Norma, but outputted the damage that Valina potentially does or Remielle potentially does, so that it offsets what he's doing, right? So it's kind of like a cat and mouse type of tag team, right? Hey, you work on the nooch. I hate when they call it that, the neutral, but it's nooch is short for neutral. You work on the nooch, right? You bully down the enemy until he gets stunned. The other stunner in the back is helping you stun off field so that you guys can alternate. Once they're stunned, I come in, I swing my scythe, I do my job, and we repeat the process. Boom. If he had more of that, he would be a much stronger character for competing in the meta no matter what, right? But as of right now, it's really hard. So ultimately, to wrap everything up here, because at this point we're kind of done with the video. I know this was long-winded. This is way longer than what it would like a scripted video would be, because I'm giving you a lot more information off the cuff versus me writing it out all pretty and carefully and then sounding like a notebook or whatever. I want you guys to understand that, one, you don't have to rush about this either. You can literally wait until the last day and then pick whatever you want, right? But making this decision is completely based on you, your account. So if I say like, yo, I'm going for which I don't know what I'm doing, right? I know I'm going for Lucia's engine. I might just go for M1 Lucia. I don't need it. Would it help me? Yeah, it'll probably help me get my kills again on Yi-Schwinn, just because I don't feel like working for a top 0.1% Yi-Schwinn build. So M1 Lucia might help me do that. If I had M1 Hugo, then I would go for the M2 Hugo, because I really just like playing Hugo, right? He's cool. If I already had M1 Jane and I really wanted to play Jane, I would go for the M2 Jane. If she wasn't in shop, I would go for the M2 Jane, right? Sanby, as much as I love Sanby, if her mindscapes were just better, then I would go for the M1. I would go for the M2. I already have Trigger's M1, so now I'm like, okay, is Trigger M2 better than Lucia M1? Let's think about it. Let's figure it out. Let's do the math. So that's just me, right? You might not be in any of those situations. You might be someone that owns Trigger, but you aren't own Sanby, but you do own Cecilia, or you do own Seed. So then it's like, do you even need Sanby? You don't. You could just grab M1 Trigger and increase it. Or let's say that you still use Panda for your Yi-Schwinn or your Bonway team. The smart thing to do is pick up Lucia, obviously, right? But then we flip it over to Anomaly. You already have Valina. You know you want Remielle, and you know you're not going to have enough to pick up, you know, Yuzuha or Arya. And for whatever reason, you just don't have a P6 Piper or an M6 Piper or Piper at all, right? She's not built. You don't have a Grace either. You never lost your 50-50 to a Grace. The better play for you would be to pick up Jane. So I can't help with that, right? Like, you guys can ask the questions and I'll try to do my best to help you anyway. But I'm telling you, I can't make the decision for you, and neither can the internet. But we can offer advice. Anyway, like I said earlier, join the Discord. The sun is going down as you guys literally watch me record this movie. Whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I can't say my usual outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. Like the video, comment, subscribe. Yes, I ran through whatever I could. Smell you later. Why is this video like 30 minutes long? Oh my gosh.